In this lesson, we'll learn about the psychology behind color. Alright, now, as a graphic designer, if there was one word to describe the work that you do, it would be communication. Really, a designer is sort of a middleman that exists between a client and their audience or their customers. You, as a designer, will be taking the message that the client is giving you and trying to find the best possible way to convey that to the target market. You may want to convey that message using feelings or emotions or moods. Now, one of the fastest ways to create a mood is going to be with color. Color is actually one of the greatest tools in a graphic designer's toolbox. It can affect our senses, it can affect the way we view something or our outlook, it can even affect the way we act or our behavior. Now, let's just take for a moment the act of jumping into a swimming pool on a hot summer day. If you think about the feelings that we may feel in doing that, it's going to give us a sense of refreshment. Maybe there's going to be a cool sense as the water surrounds us as we jump in. To contrast that, let's think about laying on a beach in front of a sunset on another warm summer day. Let's think about the color schemes that we might see there, the oranges, the reds, just the warm colors, and how those might radiate down on us. Now, these different color schemes that I've just described to you can actually be incorporated into your work as a designer, depending on the needs of your project. So I think the easiest way to just explain this type of application to you is, let's just look at some real-world scenarios here. In front of me here, I've got a logo for Papa's Surf Shop. Now, this logo is just done in grayscale, and that's often how a designer will work at first, working up sort of some comps or a mock-up in grayscale before they add color to it, just so they can focus on the design work and not have to bring in color just yet. So at this point, let's just go ahead and take this logo that's already been worked up, and let's think about adding some color to it. So first, let's just think for just a moment about the audience that's going to be viewing this logo. Who is the customer for Papa's Surf Shop? Well, the first thing that comes to mind is surfers. Maybe people who might be walking up and down on a beach. So this type of a logo, maybe we want this to be a fresh logo, one that communicates health and prosperity and just an overall sense of refreshment. Now, an analogous color scheme is a really great way to do this. Actually, it's a really great way to create sort of an outdoorsy look in many different situations. But in front of us here, down below the logo, we've got an analogous color scheme that I've gone ahead and picked out off of our color wheel. Now, I've also got an orange color here, and I've gone ahead and pulled that out. It's a complement to this center color, this blue in the center, and I've done that just to create a sense of energy about the logo. We want this to be a refreshing logo, but we still want to have a focal point and just create a sense of energy within the logo. So complementary colors are a really great way to do that. Now, just to further break down what I've got going here, if we look here, the little white squares are going to be the original colors I used at full saturation. Now, the column just to the right of that, I've added some gray to our original colors. And if we move up, I've gone ahead and added some whites, and then down would be some blacks. So we've got our tints, our shades, and our tones reflected here. Again, moving in steps of 20%, adding 20% white at each step, and likewise with the black down below. So that's exactly how I've gone ahead and developed that color palette. So let's just go ahead and zoom in here, and we'll start applying some of these colors. Now, I've gone ahead and picked out some colors that I like out of this palette, and I've made a custom swatch group here within Illustrator. And I'm going to go ahead and use my direct selection tool here, the white arrow. It's keyboard shortcut A for you. I'm going to go ahead and use that to start applying these colors to our logo. So let's just go ahead and work from left to right here. Let's start with this little surfer guy. Let's go ahead and let's maybe pick a nice blue color for him. Maybe we want it to be sort of one of these middle blues. Well, let's not do the stroke for him. Let's go ahead and select the fill and come back to our swatch palette, and let's select that blue. Maybe we want him to be a blue like that. And in fact, maybe we want the blue that we've colored him to extend all the way through this sort of stylized wave pattern we've got here that moves from left to right through the image. So let's go ahead and just select one of these waves here, and let's color that the same color. So I'm going to come in here and do that now, and let's just move down so we can see everything here. Now, as far as the color of these waves, maybe we want the ones lowest to be darkest and to be lighter values as we move up here. So let's go ahead and just select this wave at the bottom, and let's go ahead and apply this dark blue to it here. Let's just select this little piece over on the surfboard, creating sort of the effect that pattern continues on into the design on the surfboard. So let's just select that and color it the same color here, and we'll just move on up and grab another wave here, and let's go ahead and maybe apply this lighter blue to it. And maybe this top wave has a little more of a blue-green tint here, just so we're sort of just moving through this color palette down here. Let's go ahead and mimic this on these same colors on the surfboard over here. Actually, let's undo that one. Select this little gray one here. May need to zoom in a little, and select that color and that color. Okay, great. We've got everything colored except for the word Papa's. Now, when I originally looked at this logo, I thought, let's think about the typography that's used here in terms of what's more important. The most important word that's pictured here, in my opinion, is going to be the word Papa's. Papa's tells us whose surf shop it is. It differentiates this surf shop from any other surf shop. So I'm going to go ahead and just select my type here for the word Papa's, and maybe we want to apply our complementary color here. So let's go ahead and grab that and apply that to the inside of these letters, the fill, and maybe we want to put a little bit of a stroke around these letters, kind of tying it into the blues that are below. So let's go ahead and just select that, and then change our stroke color over to this dark blue. And alright, let's just zoom out here and take a look. I think that's looking really nice. That logo really conveys sort of a sense of refreshment. Very much an ocean-like feel going on here, but yet we've got this nice complementary color that's really wanting to jump out at us. So let's just go ahead and look at some other examples of how we can apply color to a logo here. I'm going to just hide this layer and show you another logo. This logo is for a coffee bar called The Grind. Now, just to give you a quick backstory for this client, this is a fictional client, but let's say that The Grind is a coffee bar that gets a lot of business traffic. There's a lot of businessmen that go here for their coffee. So maybe we want this logo to really appeal to that business clientele and have sort of a professional look, but yet we still want it to be very welcoming. So, and maybe we can do that by coloring these gears, leaving these gears more of a mechanical gray or sort of a professional gray color, but then using very natural colors, maybe some browns or some beiges for the word grind in the coffee bar here. So let me just go ahead and show you another layer, and we've got this logo colored. Let's go ahead and just reveal that here, and I think that looks really nice. Actually, I think we're working really well with some really nice browns and very welcoming colors here. Now remember that warm colors like the ones we've used here are very welcoming. They're very comforting. And these are feelings that we want our clients, or excuse me, our audience, being the people who are purchasing coffee, to feel as they enter this coffee bar. We want them to feel like it's sort of a break from their day-to-day routine. Alright, now let's go ahead and just look at yet another logo here, and just look at a third example. Now, this logo is for Bullseye Marketing Group. Now, in thinking about a marketing group, we want this logo to be very graphic, maybe. Let's say we want this to be a logo that's very timeless and very versatile. We can use this in just about any situation imaginable. We want it to be memorable, too. Now, a really good way to do that is to use sort of a graphic feel, maybe with some dominant blacks and whites. Now, black and white combinations are very classic, and yet they're still dramatic. So maybe we want a good portion of this to be very classic and dramatic like that. So now we can also combine these graphic colors with some really bright color, maybe some really hot colors. That's going to create sort of a shocking effect and make it really memorable. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you another layer here with the colors on it. And we'll take a look here, and we've used some reds and some oranges here to really create a point of interest in our logo. Now remember, red is our hottest color, and that actually worked out really nice. It's a very assertive color, but yet it's also kind of expected, because we know, just in thinking in terms of does a bullseye look like, we know that a bullseye is actually going to be red. And really, to highlight that, we've used a nice warm orange here in the sort of the explosion effect around the bullseye, and that really helps to create a sense of movement here. It also plays off of the dynamic angle used for the words Bullseye Marketing Group. Really creates action within this logo. Now let's go ahead and look at one more logo here. Now this logo is for Planet Groove. Now I envision Planet Groove to be sort of a nightclub. Maybe it's a high energy dance club that doesn't open until 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening and stays open really late. So the clientele for this are going to be sort of that bar crowd. Maybe the crowd that goes out bar hopping and dancing at different clubs. Maybe we want to use a lot of high energy colors in this logo. So let's go ahead and just take a look here at our other layer with the color on it, and we'll just take a look. There, we've got sort of some really bright, really high energy colors, some magentas, some fuchsias, a bright green being used here. Now these colors could be considered clashing colors, but they're really creating a lot of movement here. Now we are separating them by sort of a buffer in this white space, and there's really some nice energy within this center of the logo here. Now we've used sort of a dark navy blue for sort of a base color here for the rest of the word groove and the word planet, and that could also be tied to maybe the nightlife. Maybe it's the color of the night sky. Using this dark blue like this really gives our audience a chance to rest their eye from all the action and all the energy that's going on here in the center of the logo. This color scheme really makes for an effective logo for the target audience of this logo. So in this lesson, we've really taken color and explored the psychology behind color. At this point, I'd like to just encourage you to go out and look at some color schemes used in some different logos you might see out in the real world, and just try and determine what mood or emotion that designer was trying to convey to you in that logo.